Welcome back. I'm Kenzie from the Sewing Palace. Today we're going to be learning one of my favorite techniques for achieving perfect points with precise and weird shaped angles. It's foundation paper piecing. For paper piecing, I recommend using foundation paper. It is thinner than regular copy paper, and you can slightly see through it, so it will help you to align your fabric, as well as it is easy to tear away. Because you are stitching through paper and you don't want the paper to stay in your quilt project or whatever you're working on, eventually you will have to rip the paper away. Now, the block that I will be showing you how to make is called Kite in a Square. All right, to go over your materials, first you will need your fabric pieces and your background pieces. This orangey color is my background. For one block, you will need two pieces that are 2.5 by 4.5, and then whatever is your middle fabric, this is 3.5 by 5.5. That is what will be in the center, and then these two pieces will be on the sides. I'm calling the side pieces the background, and then this center piece is my accent fabric. The other helpful tool that you will need is an add a quarter ruler. This particular ruler is add a quarter ruler plus, because I really like that the side that doesn't have the divot, this is the divot and that is the 1/4 inch seam, and I'll show you what the divot is for later. But this other side has a slanted side to it, and I use it to pre-fold the paper over, and I'll explain how I use that in a little bit. You also need a foot for your machine. I am using a Bernina machine, so I am using a 37D foot. You can use technically whatever foot that you like. This is just the one that I like to use. You need a rotary cutter. You will need a regular cutting mat. Doesn't matter what brand, doesn't matter, just needs to be at least 3.5 inch square. Now, if you have a 3.5 inch square ruler, that is what these blocks will be trimmed up to. So that will make it nice and easy to square up the block. However, any size ruler will work just fine. The other thing that you will need that I don't have right here is an iron and an ironing mat. It's really nice to have your sewing machine, your cutting station, and your iron station really close together. Due to you use all three of them kind of at the same time. So the first step is you're going to grab your template. I have my template on regular printer paper, and I'm just going to double check to make sure that my template is 3-inch finished. So I see that the outer size is in fact 3-inch. So I am ready to start. I'm going to take my outer quarter ruler and the side that has the slant, and I'm going to pre-fold along the solid lines here. And it really helps that I have fingernails. So I would do that to all of my templates. It will help the process in making that easier. Folding the fabric back and forth. Now, the other tool that may help, sometimes it kind of gets in the way of when you tear the fabric away or the paper away, but you can get a glue stick, maybe something that goes away if you need to apply water or anything. That way your glue stick will go away. All right, the template pieces where you can read off of is the front of the paper. The back of the paper is the side that you will be attaching the fabric. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of glue to the center, just a little line down the center of section 1 of my template. And then I will grab that accent fabric and make sure that it covers the entirety of that section. So if I fold over here and here, I have noticed that it is completely covering section 1. So I know that I am in the clear. Now that I have applied fabric 1 or section 1 is always the easiest to apply because you just put it on the back of that section. 2 and 3 is where it gets a little bit more complicated. There's a little bit more steps to prep that. So we're going to start with section 2. So I'm going to move it so that way it's up. And then I'm going to increase the paper down, grab my add a quarter ruler, and then there's that little divot where I will butt it up right in the paper. And it kind of locks right into place. Grab my rotary cutter and cut the excess off. So now this is discard. Grab your background fabric, or what I'm gonna call, the background fabric. And now yes, you can. So see this shape here on the paper? That is where section 2's paper goes. So if I put it down, and I'm gonna align the raw edge of the fabric here, the 2 raw edges, because that's the 1/4 inch seam. Underneath that fabric, underneath that line of the template, I need to make sure that the background piece is completely covering it, which I can see by flipping it back and forth that it does. So this line, let me see if that makes sense. This line of the paper, that is where section 2's fabric goes. Is that getting covered by this fabric number 2, or the background piece, which in my case it is. So now I'm ready to go to the sewing machine and stitch on the line. Before I stitch on the line, I have to actually fold the paper back flat, and I will stitch right on the line. Now I am gonna extend about 1/4 inch beyond and stop 1/4 inch beyond that point. Because again, remember, the block has to be squared up to 3.5. So there we go. We have stitched right on that line, and I have the fabric down there too. Adding fabric 3, I'm going to fold back that seam. And again, use the add a quarter ruler, cut off the extra fabric. Grab that background piece. Notice where that block will be going on the paper. Make sure it's completely covered, aligning the raw edges. Fold out the paper so it's back flat and stitch on the line between section 1 and section 3. All right, now that we have our block, it looks quite funky, but now we're ready to trim it up. And we're going to trim by using a regular standard ruler. We're going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from this solid black line all the way around. So I'm going to align the 1/4 inch of the ruler right on that black line and then just trim off the extra all the way around. Now looky there, we have a perfect kite in a square block, and when I get ready to stitch this into my project, this point right here will be perfect. Now I will wait to take the paper off until I'm ready to stitch this into my block or something else. If I'm just sewing a bunch of these together, I will go ahead and rip it out. But I will typically like to wait until I've got all of these made and I'm ready to stitch it to whatever it goes. But let's say you're ready to rip. So I like to just pre-crease these really well. And then as you're getting ready to rip it away, it's just like paper in a checkbook. If you've ever ripped fabric out of it or paper out of a checkbook, you want to really make sure you crease it good and then you support the stitches or where you're gonna rip, and it rips pretty dang beautiful each time. You want to try to rip away from the stitching, that way if something weird happens, you have control over it. Oopsie, there it came out a little bit. One thing that does help is if you shorten your stitch length. I would shorten it to around 2 or even 1.5. That way it doesn't come out like just like it just did. I hope this tutorial takes care of some of the mystery of how to do foundation paper piecing. It is extremely helpful for getting those precise points to be perfect every single time, and you will achieve accurate blocks. While it may seem hard or intimidating at first, it really is super simple. I hope you enjoyed this video and tips and tricks from foundation paper piecing. If you would like to see what else we have to offer, check out more of our videos on our YouTube page or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We post consistently on Facebook and Instagram a couple of times a week and at least once to twice a month on YouTube. You can also check us out at thesewingpalacebernina.com for new events, classes, upcoming things, and new products. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy sewing, happy stitching, happy quilting, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!